The counselor.
All right, and good afternoon, and welcome to The Counselor. I am your host, Sheldon Stovall. Today, we are going to continue on with our weekly discussions. I'm glad that you guys are starting to see that we're on every day at 10 o'clock. I will be on the comment section live. So if you would like to talk to me live, or you would like to talk to anybody in our staff, the Counseling Network, all you need to do is text in, or you can give us a call. The number is scrolling down on the screen, or you can email me at promo@thecounselor.live, or you can slide up in my DMs. All right, so today we are going to be talking about tax time trauma. And of course, I am the counselor, and we deal with trauma on a regular basis, right? A lot of people mention that famous four-letter phrase, PTSD. I have PTSD from that. Well, guess what? Doing taxes, filing taxes, working in this industry, including myself, I was a tax preparer for many years. This is a huge time of stress for everyone. And as we said in the beginning of this series, 2021 and 2020 with the COVID debacle was terrible. It was hard, and it was extremely stressful. So the counselor's here in 2022, and we're going to start working on minimizing your stress. All right. It's tax time. So how to cope with tax time stress? So we think about it in many different ways. Money and stress is a big thing, right? In our community, money is a major source of stress on many of us. And what tax season does is shine a great big spotlight on the issue. I don't know if you ever talked to any business owners, or if you're a business owner yourself, or if you're just like me that makes way too much money and you have to pay it all back in taxes at the end of the year, and you owe the government. Basically what happens is that becomes very stressful for us. So not only do we have to find an available accountant to do our work for us, file our taxes if we don't have someone, but we do have to work with whatever new preparer we have, or if we don't have a preparer, we have to wait. And most of us, I'll say by myself, I like to file on April 13th, okay? The closest I can to the end, because guess what? I got to pay anyway. All right. But this is not just for people like me. I want to also talk about the tax time with the young teenage moms, right? I've been noticing this throughout the years, that you guys are really stressed out when it comes to having to deal with money, especially single moms, right? So you can't always get, the $3,000 you need to fix that transmission, or the baby needs a new bed, the baby needs a bigger bed, right? The baby needs some new clothes. He's grown up out all his clothes. She needs some more hair supplies, right? So it's a constant thing about stress. So when tax time comes, right, and you get that whopping bling bling, right, cash flow money, right, all of a sudden, everybody's at the club, you're going getting hair shopping, and so what I want you to do is put the brakes on. Wait a minute. Take a break for a second. Before you decide to spend $1 of that this year, I want you to think about what we just went through for the last 2 years. This is not a time for everybody to be running out as soon as you get that tax check. Some of y'all be out the door in a line, calling your phone starting at 11:59 to see if the money's been deposited, and it's already spent in your head. Now, how is that going to help you in the next 3 months? I'm going to tell you, money goes really fast, especially if you're an all-American person like me who likes food fresh from the grocery store, who likes to go buy clothes brand new, right? Who likes to have newer cars, or if you like to have new clothes and new gold and jewelry, up-to-date phone, hint, hint, I-13, all these things, they cost money. But if you're going throughout the year and you're pulling it together, and then all of a sudden you get paid on what, March 1st, I think they start paying out the 1st through the 6th, right? And then all of a sudden you got that 12,000 or that 15,000 or that 9 or even 7,000. All right. Already, what do you want to do? You want to get your hair done. You want to get your nails done, right? If you don't have a car, you go into the dealership, you're going to sign for whatever car you can get, right? I want you to stop. Take a minute to stop. All right. And I'm going to tell you why. All right. So, a 2004 survey sponsored by the American Psychology Association found that nearly 3/4 of Americans cited money as a significant source of stress. Money is also consistently among the top causes of marital contention or drama, right? And guess what? It's very difficult, especially you spouses or even unmarried couples living together, getting ready to handle stress or taxes. Somehow that just worked out right. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to work on some ways to deal with it. But first we have to do is identify what it is, right? So my next thing I want to talk about is the emotional toll of doing taxes. So often one partner in a marriage or in a couple situation is a spender who avoids any discussions of money. All right. Who are they talking to right now? All right. The big word, spender. Okay. Again, sometimes people get that debit card and it's just like this. It's an unlimited limit. I mean, even though it's black doesn't mean it's the unlimited American Express card. Okay. You just can't keep swiping that thing and not know where the money is coming from. Number one, and how you going to replace it. Number two. And so a spender is someone who's not thinking, but moves on impulsivity. So then when you see these stacks and stacks of receipts, all right, that now if you're like myself, like I'm not doing it anymore. I used to do it a while ago. You hand it to somebody else. That's why you pay them, because they'll take their time and go through all those receipts and they'll do your checks and balances and tell you exactly what you've been doing. You've been overspending, right? Or not writing things down or not keeping an accurate balance. How is that responsible? How is that even being in a wonderful relationship? All right. Which what I'm bringing up is called marital contention. Right. So you guys start beefing or arguing because, honey, you spent over $10,000 last month and we're looking around. Nothing's different. Oh, there's a new pair of shoes in the closet. Oh, you don't even tell your spouse anymore, or vice versa with the man. They bought some brand new golf clubs, didn't tell wifey that it was $7,000 per club. Right. So there's situations that go on that start creating marital contention. And that is because of the lack of communication, number one. And that person who's the spender, right, is being irresponsible. Now, is anything wrong with having Gucci and Louis every week or some type of beautiful jewelry or necklace? No. But if you don't go anywhere, if you don't travel, if you don't do things that require you to wear those type of shoes to an event, getting them to wear them to the mall or to the club one night, well, that's a little bit ridiculous. Just a little bit, right? You're wearing a $3,000 or $5,000 pair of shoes to a club. Think about that for a minute. You got a $10,000 Birkin bag that you're carrying around. Notice they carry them on their arm like that now. Carrying that most expensive bag, right? For what? Now, most people, if they're in an industry, for example, let's say you're a banker, you're someone who's up in the executive branch somewhere, VP of something. All right, so when you pull up in that parking lot, right, with your BMW, there's going to be another one in a different color right next to you. There's going to be another one because guess what? That's your environment that you're in. All right, I just want you guys to catch this for a second. Catch the tea. All right, but if you're living in a low-income housing unit or living in an apartment downtown and you're paying an $800 car payment just so you can look good driving to Big Y and Walmart, there's something wrong. You're not thinking. You're a spender. You're not someone who's thinking or making good decisions. When you're requiring someone to spend, I don't know how much on you, and you don't even know where that money is coming from, but you just know what you want, you're the spender, and you're the one causing the stress at home, the emotional stress on your partner. All right? So, what do we do about that? The results of resentment at tax time when both partners must examine how their habits are affecting progress of their financial goals. This is the time I'm asking you, spender, in particular, be quiet and listen. When you start trying to defend your actions, defend your mistake, your error, your irresponsibility, that's when the contention begins, if you understand. You know good and well that there was no shopping budget, so you didn't think to ask for one. So you just would say, oh, you didn't tell me how much to spend. That's not being an intelligent and responsible adult, right? Or partner. So it's very important that when you're moving towards, getting past the tax season, when we start learning how to alleviate the stress, all right, going forward in 2022, I want you spenders to start thinking about what you're doing. There is not a limitless supply of money that's just falling through the bank onto that credit card that you're not paying. That's what I mean, a spender. That you're not paying for. And yes, that's a privilege for some people. A lot of strippers I've met throughout my time as a counselor, they used to tell me how much, dude, just give them their card and they just went to town. Didn't even care. They just swiped until the store told them no, and they never did it. That's irresponsible. All right, you're thinking that there's a limitless amount of money that someone is just going to hand on you based on what you look like or how you're performing in bed or you just spending time with them. There's another terminology I'm going to mention, but I'm not going to say it right now. But that's not how things go. And that's part of the reason why stress occurs. All right. Some people end up dealing with anxiety. Their anxiety goes up. Right? Fear of the government also emerges at tax time. Some clients don't even want to, bother with the details. They just want to get down to nitty gritty. How much do I owe? Right? So it's very stressful to owe the government because as we've noticed, there's tax liens. If anybody's ever dealt with this, there's liens. I mean, the government, as we know, is going to get their money one way or the other. All right, so let's move on. So suggested stress relief tips. So to avoid last minute stress, file early and break up the job into little pieces. Okay, that's a problem for me because I don't want to, but I guess I'm listening now, thinking about what I read earlier, and it's kind of registering, yes. If I did file early, that means I know I need to pay taxes. Instead of me waiting to pay everything towards the beginning of this year, I need to save and make sure I have it for the next year. Sounds good. So start making some different decisions. Make some different choices, right? Do your taxes while listening to music or whatever else makes you feel relaxed. So with music, when we're talking about coping skills, music always comes up. Music always relaxes me. Quite a few people have admitted to that. Music just does something to your spirit where it gives you an opportunity to calm your nerves, kind of helps you kind of cope with your anxiety. So the author is suggesting that you start listening music. For filers with math anxiety, okay, hire a preparer or use some type of tax software. right? They have plenty of them. Just type in tax filing for free and everything. So every type of software that you have, that they have is really easy. And once you sign in, for those of you who don't know how to do your taxes, once you sign in, okay, each step tells you what to do. And so I notice how some people, most people that go to an accountant, let's just keep it real today, okay? On the Counselor Show. Most people, if you're just working a regular part-time job or a full-time job, and you don't have a house, and you're a single man or a single female, your taxes are very easy. You can actually pick up the phone and call them in some states. You don't even have to answer many questions. You just call them in. They'll tell you right then what your tax return is. I notice a lot of people, I got to find somebody to do my taxes. Okay, stop and think for a minute. It's not that difficult. It really isn't. And if you have a child or something like that, if the child's going to daycare, yes, you might need a little bit of assistance as far as how to file it. But if you just follow directions, it says, do you have a child? You hit yes. I'm talking about this free tax filing software. Do you have a child? You hit yes. And then you just follow what it says. Very simple. So some of you guys going there paying for these taxes, paying $400 to get it on the day. Did you file rapid refund and all that? I mean, that's $800 that you can be using, spender, on something else, right? So we're trying to think, how do we reduce this stress? All right. So math anxiety might be, so if you can't do your own taxes, find somebody else to help you. Factious couples should strategize on ways to avoid chronic money fights. Now, how many couples do you know across the board fight over money? I mean, that is the worst, most idiotic argument. I just hate it. I hate arguing over money. It is ridiculous. Before we met each other, I handled my own bills and you handled your own bills. Continue that. It's all about communication. If you want to join your bills together, then sit down corporately, meaning your household, and sit down together once a month and go over your monthly bills and budget together. Many of you are falling into these issues with these spenders, okay, because you guys aren't taking the time to sit down together. She doesn't know that you're paying $4,000 in child support a month or per quarter. She doesn't know that if you don't tell her, right? Or he doesn't know. Right? That person doesn't know. You might be paying your mom's medical bills. You might be assisting a charity. You might be helping out at a food pantry by donating cash every month. I mean, people do things out of the goodness of their heart. And sometimes when you meet a giver or someone who does help people, yes, that person is not just giving to you. All right. So spender, you have to start recognizing that and reducing the stress and discontinue the money arguments. It's not worth balding at the top. That's why I still have all my hair, because I don't argue about money. I handle my own money. You handle your own money. No, you're not combining your money with me. It'll never happen. All right. For example, try communicating financial information through notes or other modes that won't carry on like a more of an accusatory tone. So, yes, again, sometimes the spenders, feel accused. You didn't tell me that I had a budget. You never said that. I mean, who hands someone a limited amount of money? Whether it's on a card or if they have a safe in the house and they say you can go get some money whenever you need it. If you go get it, go replace it. Just don't go get it. How do you think it got there? Did you put it there? So again, I want you spenders to start thinking, because around this time, this is when this is the time where couples do break up. Okay, their relationship is over and you don't even know what happened. And you don't even know why it happened. A lot of it has to do with money and miscommunication and over consumption. All right. Then we have channeling tax time stress into a resolution to track your finances more carefully. Better money management is the best way to avoid unpleasant surprises every year. So again, when you're managing your money correctly, when you're sitting down, and guys, just try this. And I'm not trying to make this a guy and girl thing, because this goes both ways. And I think you guys should know that by now as we're getting more comfortable with each other. All right. I'm not biased either one. What I'm saying is start sitting down and having a conversation. You don't need to go to Louis Vuitton, and buy a $4,000 pair of shoes if you work at Walmart and you don't go anywhere but to the park once a week. Okay, take that $4,000 and maybe invest in something else. Do something else with your time. Try to figure there was this new thing that just came out that I really love. I'm not sure when it came out, actually, but they have it's like the Uber, but it's like you can go walk dogs for people. But they also, it's so beautiful. It's like, someone, you sign up to the network. I can't remember the name right now. It's an app. And you sign up and you can actually go and walk dogs with people. If you're a dog lover and you like walking dogs, you get to meet the cutest, most lovable dogs. People are so excited that you're coming, and it's usually like the elderly. You go to the house, you knock on the door, hi, they know you're there, or they'll meet you downstairs, and you go walk their dog. Right? It's sweet. There's something else to do with your time. Time consumption is really important, especially in life. You got to start doing some things with your time. And a lot of you guys, you miss the mark. Every year, you just start spending it. It's okay. Have you ever been to a strip club after it's over? I have, only because I got a few friends in high places. Okay, the entire floor is filled with money, mostly dollar bills. But the entire floor is filled with money. Okay? And they take that money and they put it in bags. All right. And then the money is counted and separated and split up and all that. All right. Think about your money when you're out there just taking it and spending it. And for all you baby mamas that are single, and doing this on your own and you're working hard, this is a good time for you because they have what they call the child care tax credit. All right. Take advantage of that. All right. If you're not working, put a goal up there for yourself. You need to get up and go get a job for 2022 somewhere. McDonald's now paying $15 an hour. All these other places, $15 an hour is a lot. It's a lot of money. It makes some money for your paycheck. It's enough for you to survive. And when I say a lot of money, I'm saying for a single mother that has to go pick up their kids, have to work part-time. So yes, a few hours that you're working, it will pay off. Not when I was starting, and my first job, minimum wage was $4.25. That's $4.25. Yes, I'm still laughing inside. Yes, and I actually worked a whole week to get that little bit of money that I got when I was 17? I was like, I'm not doing this. This is not going to work for me. But now, $15 an hour, that's a lot of money for some people that never made it. And think about those of you who received the PUA and the government benefits that you did, the extra $300, $600 last year. Some people told me, they said that's the most money I've ever seen in my life. I've never had that much money per week. All right? So you got a chance to see something. So get up, do something with your time. And I'm talking to you single ladies, I'm talking to you single guys. Right? So that way you'll be able to file some taxes, get a tax return, because it's also a year to see your accomplishment. You actually see financially how much you made for the whole year. All right? So it's really good. All right. So avoiding stress. All right. We're talking about how to cope with stress during tax time. All right. So another point that I wanted to bring up, are the accountants. The accountants, they tally up the stress. So there are people that will actually take the time to do the work for you so you don't have to do it yourself. Because the stress of tax season contributes to a high amount of burnout rates, which is my fourth point, burnout rates. All right, especially among accountants working in high-power big firms. All right, that doesn't apply for many of us, but yes, it's really stressful at this time. So remember, we have to work on how are we going to start dealing with stress. Take it easy during tax season. All right, reduce your stress. Go to the gym, work out, take a walk. Many of us like walking through parks, during the day, not at night, but take a walk through the park, breathe the fresh air. All right. That's why it's out there. You can live, you can breathe. All right. So do something to start reducing the stress. All right. Make goals, set goals. So for this year, we're going to go out to dinner less. All right. I didn't start learning. I went and learned how to cook when I was 26 years old. All right. Because once I turned 18 and I moved out of my mom's house, I was an adult. I didn't really have to go grocery shopping. I just went out every day. I did the math. I did the budget. I kept myself on a budget. I ordered out breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay. And if I was dating, I ordered 2 plates. Okay. Because it's expensive. But when I started ordering, when I go to this restaurant, I'm ordering the filet here. And, I like their lobster salad there. Or I like your Durango steak and shrimp here. Or I like the spaghetti and meatballs at the Olive Garden. Or one of these other places. I started saying, you know what? I'm literally eating some of the same things every day at the same restaurants. So that's when I started thinking. I said, okay, let me go back and think this again. And so then I've looked and found some cooking classes that they have when I lived in Connecticut at the time. And I signed up and I took cooking classes. And guess what? I started learning how to prepare my own foods. I started learning about temperatures. I got interested in that. And now you can't tell me anything about my cooking. All right. And when I do go out, guess what? I'm not ordering the filet and the rock lobster and all these things. I order something that I don't know how to cook. And it makes my experience so much better. All right. So start learning how to reduce that stress, reduce the amount of money you're spending, reducing things. When you're reducing your stress and learning how to cope, things work out better for you. All right. So just want to mention a few more things and I'll be out of your way. Don't skip breakfast or work through lunch just because you're very busy. You'll get fatigued or starved out and end up filling the void with junk food. All right. So eat important foods, right? Don't use food to relieve your stress. Big problem. Many people, and we're going to be talking about the eating disorders, I think, next week. That's a big problem. There's an issue when people are turning to food to relieve their stress. And it's interesting because when we do talk in our conferences, when I do meet other counselors, we talk about that. Right? People, substance abuse is mentioned the most, but it's probably not the worst thing out there. Overeating is huge, right? It's a huge thing. Or undereating is just as dangerous. So don't use food to relieve your stress. Try stretching. And we're going to do some stretching exercises, deep breathing. That is what we're known for as counselors, deep breathing exercises, learning how to use alternate ways to cope or finding ways to cope. And a little bit of exercise. And we always, as therapists and counselors, encourage everyone, take the time to care for yourself. Because if you don't care about yourself, nobody will. Hey guys, my name is Sheldon Stovall and I am the counselor. So I want to let you know my books have just arrived. Where is the storehouse? Fresh, right off the press. I want to give a shout out to my boys at Arrow Studios for making all this possible, the counselor. If you want your pre-ordered copy for my book signing February 10th, we want you to order today. You can contact me at thecounselor.live. Our phone number is listed on our website, or you can go order it online, www.amazon.com. But more importantly, you can get your own personal autographed copy from me, Sheldon Stovall, and we'll see you soon. So order today.